Barely. Yep. You can walk. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Hello. Hello, how are you? I can see you. The sun is blocking my vision, but I see hearts. So I appreciate that. Raheem. Hey, Raheem. How are you, Raheem? Thank you for dropping down in the chat and saying hello. Thank you for sending hearts. Happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturday to you, and you. What's going on? Tell me what's going on. What are you up to? Any of you guys who are in the chat right now, what's going on? How has your weekend started off? I hope it started off great. Hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you are outside. I hope it's pretty wherever you are. I hope you're out getting in some sun, soaking up that vitamin D to help you with that calcium. You know, a lot of people don't get enough vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of the vitamins they don't often check for, even though we need it. And evidence has shown more and more that we need vitamin D. And there are still some, places, some doctors, some healthcare providers who don't check it. So ask your healthcare provider to check your vitamin D levels. And if they give you a fuss about it, go to another one. Go to another one and have them to check it. Because what's often realized is that a lot of times when you ask a doctor, ask him or her to check certain levels for you or to do certain things, it's as if they don't want to do it. I don't know. It's like an ego thing. It's an ego thing. They don't want to do it because they feel like you should only be, you know, having done what they want you to have done, or checking what they feel like is appropriate or routine. But, vitamin D is one of those things that should be routine now. So have your healthcare providers to check it. And if they won't, go to another one. Go to another one who will. Go to another one who will. Where one won't, another one will. You may have to skip around a little bit, but where one won't, another one will. But anyhow, anyway, I hope that again, everybody's vitamin D level is straight, and all your other vitamin levels, A, B, C, D, E, K, all of them, all of them, all of them, all of them. What are you guys up to on this beautiful Saturday? It is truly beautiful. It's sunny. It's nice. It's quiet. It's quiet today. The kids aren't out today. It was a good thing. Kids were out yesterday. They were making noise. They were outside riding their bicycles. They were playing. So I guess today they're all inside on their video games or something. Get outside. Push your kids outside. Encourage them. Push them to go outside. Don't push them outside. Sometimes you have to pull them outside. But encourage your kids to go outside. And don't just go out there and sit. Get up and move. Move around. Walk. Walk, walk, walk. Walk, walk, walk. Move around. Get on that trampoline with them. Not just the kids. We're adults. We need to be jumping around, bouncing around, walking around, bicycling, hitting the treadmill, whatever it is that you want to do. Just get up, get out and move. You don't necessarily have to walk. I hear so many people now saying walk, 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 which is a great thing, but they don't do. So I think for some people walking sounds good, but they just don't, they don't get in the mood. But I think if you do something like, don't just think walk, think treadmill, think bicycle, think elliptical. Anybody on here knows that my elliptical is my best friend. Look, 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 look. He's about to climb that pole. He's about to scramble up that pole. He's so preoccupied. What is he looking at? I'm nosy. That squirrel, he's looking at something. He's fixated on something. I've never seen a squirrel let me get this close to him. There he goes. It's almost like he was trying to make up his mind, y'all, if he wanted to. He didn't know if he wanted to attack he didn't know if he wanted to tackle that pole or not. It's like he had to make his mind up. He's a big squirrel. Maybe that's what it is. He's a big squirrel. He's gotten halfway up the pole. He's having a rough time. He's having a rough time. So, animals are smart. All animals are smarter than many of us think. And I think maybe he's tried this pole before, or some pole. And so he was a little bit hesitant. He really let me get close. Never seen a squirrel let me get that close to him. But he definitely wasn't a baby squirrel. He wasn't an old squirrel, but he wasn't a baby squirrel. He was big, 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 big. And that's what it's all about. Just something as simple as watching a squirrel decide whether or not he's going to tackle a pole. And tackling that pole, get outside. Take some good deep breaths in and out. And enjoy the day. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the day. And if it's not pretty where you are, if it's raining, open a window. Sit on your patio. Sit on your patio. Sit on your porch. Catch that breeze from the rain. When it's raining, there's usually a slight breeze. Sit outside and catch that breeze. Enjoy your outside, okay? And I know many of you guys may not be outside because of, it's allergy season. For some people, allergy season is year-round, but spring is just something about spring. It's something else. Allergies in the spring can be something else. Right now, like the tree pollen is high, grass pollen moderate, and ragweed right now is low where I am. But that tree pollen, it is not my friend. It is not my friend. So there are days like this where it's so pretty outside, but people won't go outside. People won't go outside because look at my shadow. Look at my shadow, y'all. People won't go outside because of the allergies. The allergens. The allergens. So whatever you do, try to get out, embrace nature, rain or sun, whether it's rainy, whether it's sunny, get outside. Just because it's raining doesn't mean you can't get outside, okay? Get outside and soak up the rain. Sometimes that's what we need, a good rain shower. I mean, we need to literally get outside and get in the rain. When it rains, the next time it rains in your area, go outside and just stand in the rain. Just stand in it. Protect your hair if you have to. People have their pet peeves. They're not going to go out there and stand in the rain. If you've got a fresh hairdo, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But the next time it rains, go out there and just stand in the rain. Water never hurt. A little water never hurt you. A little water never hurt you. I bet most of us have gotten caught in the rain at some point. Whether it's walking to school, walking home, or just from your door to your car. From your door to your car. y'all. I don't have a fanny pack. I do not like fanny packs. I see some people still wear fanny packs. I don't like fanny packs, but I do have my crossover purse. You never know what you may need when you're out here walking. You never know. You never know. But yes, it's Saturday. It's still early in the day. I mean, it's not morning, it's past noon, but it's early enough in the day till where if you haven't done something, get up, get out and do something. Get up, get out and do something. Go walking. Go walking. Go sightseeing. You know, even if you don't have a lot to sightsee, go sightseeing. You know, you see a lot of things when you're out and about. When you're out and you're walking, you see a lot of things. And I want you to do it for 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes. Continuously. 30 minutes. It's not hard. You don't have to walk fast. A brisk walk is preferable. But do what you can do. You know, do what you can do. For the people watching, I had a couple of people tell me that they don't drop in the chat. That's strange to me. Like, say hello. You don't have to. What's strange to me is not that people don't, but the people that you know don't, and then they'll see you somewhere else and they'll tell you. They'll tell you. They'll see you in another chat and they'll tell you. See, I scared off 4 people right there. But I think people are looking for drama or something. We're not trying to find it over here. We're not trying to find it over here. We're not trying to dog anybody. We're not trying to mistreat anybody. We're just trying to walk, 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 walk. That's why you see my legs, because I want to encourage you to walk. Walk, walk. So I'm about to pick up the pace. And if someone comes into the chat, I'll talk. But otherwise, just watch my legs move, move, move. Watch my legs move. If you would like, thumbs up the live. If you would like, drop in the chat. But if you don't, guess what? If you come by here, if you come through here, that's a form of support. So I'm not going to beat you over the head and ask you to like 1,000 times. I'm not going to keep asking you to drop and say hello, because it's all support. Whether you like it or not, if you come through, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. See? Certain things you say run people off. That's how you know the good ones. They'll hang around until you say certain things. But yeah, it's on certain things that you're looking for, you're not going to find here. You're going to find these legs moving. That's what you're going to find. I want you to see the legs moving. I want the legs to be motivation. You don't have to be fast. You don't have to be a marathon runner. Just a brisk walk. A brisk walk. Deep breaths in and out. Deep breaths in and out when you can. Otherwise, in and out. In and out. In and out. In and out. Do what works for you. Do what works for you. Do what makes you feel better. Breathe in a way that works for you. Sometimes people breathe in cadence with the way they walk, with their steps. Some people breathe in sync with their steps. In, 1, 2, out on 3. 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 Do what works for you. In, 1, 2, out on 3. In, 1, 2, out on 3. Breathe in a way that works for you. Some people do the 3-2 ratio, the 3-2 ratio. So look those up, see what they're about, and figure out what works for you when you're walking. Okay? Figure out what works for you when you're walking. Figure out what works for you when you walk. And don't let what people say discourage you. Do it the way that makes you feel more comfortable. Let people give you suggestions, take their suggestions. But we know, we as people, we know how we can be. We can try, we tell people things. When we see someone doing it one way, it's good. It's all good to suggest another way to them. But don't try to act like your way is perfect, because your way may be perfect for you and your body type, or the way you choose to, breathe in and out or exercise or whatever it is in life. But it may not be what's good for the other person, the next person. Okay? It may not be what's good for the next person at all. People are out and about. People are out and about. Some are getting off work, and some haven't been to work. Some are just enjoying the weekend. And I hope you're enjoying the weekend. We're going to do one more lap. By then, it should be 30 minutes, and that should be good. And that way, I can come on again, maybe, because I try to do at least 30 minutes, to an hour. And usually it's an hour. But the times that I do 30 minutes, I might come back and we might do a ride and talk. A ride and talk. Let's ride and talk. So I won't make you walk twice. I won't make you walk twice. I won't make you watch me walk twice. But just look at the legs, look at the legs, look at the movement, and walk. Get up and walk. Get up and dance. Get up and dance. Go pull out your skates. Get up and skate. If you have a skateboard, pull out that skateboard. For those who have skateboards, and skate. Do something. Move, move, move. Don't just move your mouth. Don't just move your mouth. Move, move, move. Move, move. Hey Jill. Hey Jill, I was talking to somebody. Hey Lines Pride, no sound. Yeah, I muted because I was talking to somebody. I was talking to a lady. She was asking me if she could walk with me, and I told her she could walk with me. She's afraid of dogs. So yeah, it's been muted for a few minutes, probably about at least 5 good minutes. Cause she was talking, I don't know her and I didn't know what she was gonna say. So, sometimes I'm trying to wait till I'm far enough down of the street before I say what I'm thinking. Sometimes you don't know how to take people, and I'm like real finicky on stopping and talking to people about that. I'm finicky about that. And so it's like I didn't wanna girl, I had just picked up my stride too and I was walking. And so she was like, "Can I walk with you?" And I was like, "What?" I'm like, I'm strictly, I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, but then it was the way she was looking at me. I could tell she didn't mean anything like that. She was just like, uh, "I like to walk and I need to start back walking, but I'm afraid of dogs." So she's afraid of dogs. And like, y'all don't know it, but a lot of times my cousin walks with me and she doesn't like to be close, to the phone. So she walks like behind me, and sometimes she's in front of me and I walk behind her. And so to that, but most times I'm by myself. And I'm not gonna even lie to y'all, I like it like that. Like, I like being by myself because even if there's no one in the chat, then I'm just walking, you know, I'm just walking. But if someone is in the chat, I'm talking to y'all and it's like I don't know her. I don't know her, so I don't know how she would take that. Like my cousin, I know she doesn't want to be anywhere near the phone if I'm live. And so that's good. That's cool. I understand. But this lady, I don't know her. I know she lives on the street, on one of the streets that I walk on. She lives. So I was just stopping and listening. She was just talking. And so it was just a regular old neighborly conversation. She's afraid of dogs and she wanted to know if she could walk with me. And of course I said yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I said yes, y'all. I said yes. Cause I don't want to be mean. Like, I don't want to be mean. So I said yes. But I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm not even trying to be funny, y'all. I don't think I'm not gonna say she's not gonna do it, but I don't think she's gonna do it. I just think, her reasoning for walking with me was legit. But what can I do if a dog comes out? Like, I can't do anything if a dog pops out. There is absolutely nothing I can do. But I do still understand what she means when she says that, you know, she doesn't want to walk by herself just in case a dog pops out. So I told her where every dog was on the street. I told her the ones that, that are not on a leash, because we have leash laws. So none of them should be off their leash. But there is at least one. Y'all know, if you're in the live ever with me, there's one, that little weenie dog. He's out. But he honestly, and knock on wood, because you don't know, he doesn't do anything. He runs up to me and barks, and he only sits there. And I'm like, this dog better not bite me. But I pass by him every day. So I'm hoping he keeps it cute. So I was trying to tell her which direction to go where there are no dogs, because I honestly enjoy walking by myself. It's kind of like, even though I'm on the live talking to you guys, it's kind of like my me time, but because I exercise and I get my real me time in then, you know. Hello, how you doing? Good. That's why I come on the live, because, hello. That's why I come on the live when I'm cooling down, because I've done my main exercise for the day. And so I'm just on here to encourage other people to walk. Maybe looking at my legs, looking at me walking, will encourage them to walk. Someone told me that it was therapeutic watching me walk. So that's what it's about. Y'all know it's about motivation, encouraging, uplifting, and all that stuff. So I honestly don't mind her walking with me, but I connect with you guys when I do my evening walks or my Let's Walk and Talks. I really do connect with you guys. And even people that come through here sometimes leave comments after the live is over. And for some reason, well, I guess it's because of my settings. A lot of the times, if they're not subscribed, when they leave it, it'll it'll leave it in held for review or something like that. They'll hold it for review. So yeah, that's why there was no sound. In case anybody was wondering, or it's still here. In case you're still here, Jill. But yes, honestly, this is when I get my me time in as well. But I really wouldn't mind her walking. I just don't know her. No, I don't know her. I don't know her. But if she sees me, she can join in. She'll just have to know that I'm talking to you guys. When I do my walk and talk, I'm talking to you guys on YouTube. I'm talking to my subscribers. I'm talking to the people who just happen to come by. And I'm encouraging people to walk and talk. If you can't talk, just walk. You know, bike, jump on your treadmill, jump on your elliptical, do whatever it is that you can do. And it has been 30 minutes already. I spent 5 minutes talking to her. So I was intending to do 30 minutes. And then if I might do an hour. Y'all know how I do. Sometimes I'll do an hour. But the goal was to do 30 minutes and maybe come back later and do another 30 minutes on my ride and talk. My ride and talk. Let's ride and talk. Let's ride and talk. It's so simple. It's not hard. But just watch. Just watch. Just watch. So yes, y'all, this is not a fanny pack, okay? Do not think that this is a fanny pack. I do not like fanny packs. And I don't want anybody thinking that this is a fanny pack. This is a small crossbody purse because with my allergies being the way that they are, I realized that I need my backpack or my crossbody with me sometimes when I'm out here. When I have my backpack, a lot of times, well, y'all can't see it when I have my backpack. But I have my backpack and I have water in it. So my backpack needs to be washed. So I've been bringing my crossbody purse, and I just noticed in the shadow, it could look like a fanny pack. This is not, I repeat, this is not a fanny pack. Some fanny packs are cute. They're cute. But even when fanny packs were really, really out, they look so funny to me. They were convenient. I will not lie, they are convenient. But I prefer a crossbody purse. Especially the little clear plastic ones. You know, the ones that are made for you to work. Look like you're going to work or something. Sometimes you have jobs where they don't allow you to carry in a purse, a regular purse. You have to have those clear ones. I thought something was wrong with the live. Oh, so I left. I was talking to, and you know, most times when people see me talking to you guys, they think I'm on the phone. So they really won't say anything, but I can kind of tell. Or they'll kind of like ask me, are you on the phone? And so usually I'll say yes. If I'm on live, I'll say yes, I'm on the phone. Because it just depends on who it is. I may not really want to talk. So, yeah, she's afraid of dogs, yeah, and she was wanting to walk with me. And I'm real funny like that. Like, you know, I'm not a people person like that. Like, you have some people who, as soon as she said, hey, can I walk with you? They're like, oh yeah, come on, join me. You know, I do encourage people to move. That's why I walk. That's why I show my legs moving, whether it's slow or whether I'm just walking, you know, briskly. I do encourage people to walk. But a lot of times, this is when I get a chance to spend with my subscribers and other content creators. You know, sometimes the chat is kind of talkative, and sometimes I don't have many in the chat. But even when I don't have many in the chat, every now and again somebody will drop down new, or they'll just say whatever. But if they don't say anything, I just use this as more time for me. I'll just use it for more time for me. Because you can never have too much me time. Like when I exercise, that's why I don't go live when I do my entree, my full out exercise, because that's just time for me. So even my cool down, like I call this my cool down, but I've actually, when I exercise, I do it all: warm up, exercise, cool down, and then I come on here and this is basically a second cool down, because you can never get too much cardiovascular in. You can never walk too much. You can never walk too much, unless for some reason you shouldn't walk. So yeah, so I was like, I didn't say no. I was like, yeah, you know, I said, yeah, you can walk with me, but and I don't mind her walking with me, but if I'm on YouTube, she's gonna have to understand that I'm on YouTube, because like I said earlier, my cousin walks with me a lot of times, and you guys don't even know it, because she doesn't like to be near the phone. If she knows I'm live, she'll walk behind or she'll walk in front of me, because she doesn't like to be anywhere near the phone. So she'll walk ahead or she'll walk behind. And sometimes I talk to her on my phone. And people think, sometimes people on the live probably are like, who is she talking to? Because they don't hear anybody. So I have her on my in my earpiece on another phone while I'm on this one on live. And that's why a lot of times when I say I don't have my other device, a lot of the times I don't. But when I do have my other phone with me, I'm talking. I'm usually talking to my cousin so that we can, stay. If she's ahead of me or if she's behind me and I get kind of way ahead or way behind, we check in. Especially when I'm walking at night. I know a lot of times when it gets dark, a lot of people on the live think I'm walking by myself, but I'm honestly not. Sometimes I am, but a lot of times I'm not. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, that's my me time when I exercise. And then when I come on here with you guys, that's my time with you guys. That's my time with you guys. And me not knowing her, I don't know what to say. Like, if I'm on the live, I'm like, okay, it's a little, I don't know. Because I don't know her, it would be a little uncomfortable. It'll be a little uncomfortable. You're doing your hair? What are you doing, Jill? Are you washing it? Do you relax it? Do you relax your hair, or are you natural? Thank you too for listening. I appreciate it. I came through, I caught the replay on your live last night. I fell asleep though, because girl, the past couple of days, I've been working long hours. So I'm going to go back just to make sure I'm just going to go back and watch the second half and a little bit of the first part, because I didn't know you were live. The notifications have been kind of crazy. Like, there are people who I mod for, or just other content creators who I'm usually in their chats. Even if I'm not in there long and I go in and speak, I'll, let them play. I haven't been getting notifications. I'll take that back. I've been getting the notifications, but it'll say they have a video or something to the effect that they've uploaded a video when it was actually a live. You're natural? Okay. Me too, Jill, me too. I haven't had a relaxer since 2014. Yeah, I haven't had a relaxer since 2014. That's okay. It was a long live. We were chilling. I haven't done one of those in years. Really? Well, I saw you live today too. I don't understand what's going on though with not this one. I saw, but I was out and about. So I did I say hello? I know last night I said hello. I was watching. I was listening and I was letting you play, but I didn't catch it all. And then, like I said, I fell asleep. I had worked long hours the past couple of days. But today I got the live notification. Yeah, today I got the live notification. But what was I doing? What was I doing when I first saw you live? Today I got the live notification. I was in my laundry room, and there was a young man on there. So I think the live had started a while ago. I think you were maybe 40 minutes in. So I think you were maybe 40 minutes. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Everybody wants to talk today. Everybody wants to talk today. Hey, we all have lives. We can't make it to every life. Yes, but Jill, it seems like some people don't understand that. And it's like some people I've talked to, and a lot of times, if I know I just can't be active in the live, I'll let it play. Even if I don't know what's going on, I let it play because I just feel like that helps, or if it helps with their watch time or whatever, especially someone who's monetized. So I just watch it because I feel like, it helps. Or I won't, even if I don't watch it, I hear it because I'm moving around or I'm doing something. Even when I'm at work sometimes, if I can't always do it at work, but sometimes when I'm at work, I'll just let my phone, I'll turn it down real low, and I have to check it every so often just to see if the person is still live, because I do want to, if someone's live, I do want to help them if I can. Sometimes I can't even do that much. Sometimes I can't even do that much at work because it's just not the kind of work I do. It's just not a good thing to have the phone on me sometimes. But when I can have my phone in my pocket, or I'll leave it in my purse, if someone I know is live, I let their live play, and then I just check it every so often. But it's getting really, really ridiculous how some people expect that you can be in every live. Like, I don't expect that. Now, if I don't see you in a long time, for a long time, but I see you going live, and I stop by and say hello, and I haven't seen you in my live, or at least in the comments, at least, after it's over, it's saying hello. That's why I love about you, Jill. You always say, shout out to the replay gang. Like, that's one of the first things that you say is shout out to the replay gang. Because and it's like, that totally tells me that you understand that everybody can't always make the live. And that's whether you're a mod or not. But some people, they're just like, where's my mod? Where's my mod? I'm like, probably working, probably enjoying the weekend, probably spending some time with family and friends, probably just getting some me time in, just chilling, probably just not on social media. Probably just not on social media. And I was catching parts of your live last night as I was moving around and stuff, getting my clothes ready, bed clothes ready. And I was like, somebody, not knowing if it was anybody in particular, but I often can tell when somebody has perturbed you. Someone has gotten you perturbed. And I was like, set it straight, Jill, set it straight. And a lot of times it may not be that someone has kind of ticked you off, but sometimes people move, like I say all the time, we may not really be talking to each other unless we're on a panel. But when people type, there's a tone to typing. There's a tone to written word. And you get the tone. And then, people can come into your live, or you can see someone on social media completely show their behinds simply by what they type in the chat. You can see them show their behinds simply by what they type in the chat. But now if I keep coming, and like I said, you just, some people work their butts off. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Certain professions I know, people don't really have time. It's like they may listen at work for a little bit, and then, because I used to always say this, I'm gonna take a day out of the week and go and catch up. That's even hard to do sometimes. Because sometimes when you get that off time, you just want to chill. Like, you just want to, even if you're watching people. Now, if I'm sitting there watching, of course, I can say hello, and And a lot of times I can participate in the chat, but usually I just kind of like to say hello in chats because, girl, when in these chats now, it seems like people are on ready for mess. Like they just on anything that you type. And like I said earlier, there's tone to typing. There's in these chats, there's a tone to what you say, but some people just sit on ready for mess. And so that's why I was listening. And so I know I missed about half of it last night. But then today I caught the part where don't remember his name, but there was a young man on the panel telling you about the StreamYard. Like I think how, not really telling you about it, but saying to get somebody to kind of help you with it. But I'm like, I think you're good at maneuvering the StreamYard. I think that it was giving you some issues. Be right back. I have to go grab my package. Okay. Now, if I never see you in any of my lives, I will return the favor. Laugh out loud. I know that's right, Jill. I know. And that's why if I never see certain people, but they leave a comment after the fact, I'm good with that until I see like a pattern of, okay, lately you're never in the live, but almost as soon as the live ends, you're leaving a comment, but then you're in other chats. I'm kind of side-eyeing that because, believe it or not, some people feel like, oh, well, she's got enough people watching, or he's got enough people watching, or he's got enough subscribers, or, So I'm like, okay, that's wild. That's crazy. Just even if you just say hello, there's a lot of times all I do is say hello. Just to let them know that I may not be watching and I may not watch the whole video, but I saw their notification. I listened for a little bit and I left a comment. And sometimes, depends on what's going on, I listen to the whole live. Or at least half of it. That's why it's more than a few seconds long. That's why it's more than a minute or two long. Everybody's not going to always be able to watch the full live. People have things to do. And I think there needs to be an adult-like rationalization about that. You need to be able to rationalize that. Everybody can't be in your live from the time you hit start to the time you hit end. And then you expect for them to know everything that happened in your live. It's not even weird. It's borderline delusional. That's borderline delusional. That's just like being mad because your spouse can't pick up the phone every time you call when you're at work. And then that's just like being deluded. It's like being mad at, hey girl, dad, welcome to the live. It's just like picking up the phone. Like, you can't be in everybody's live, and you can't be in everybody's live from start to finish. You have things to do. You have children, you have grandchildren, you have your spouse, you have your significant other. And even if you don't have that, you just have things to do. You have things to do. There's 24 hours in a day, and you have things to do. Even if it's just sitting down, chilling, having some me time. You may not want to be in a live. You may just want to chill. That may be your only break for the day that you've had. So who wants to, you're on a break and then you're in a live, and next thing you know, it's time for your break is over. Your break is over. Good evening, Lions Pride, and everyone in the chat. Hello, girl, dad. How are you? How are you? Good to see you in the chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate seeing you over here. Thank you for riding out with me the other night when I was on my way to the house. So I decided, hey, I didn't go live today because I worked like 16 hours. So we're going to do a ride and chat. We're going to do a ride and talk. That's what we're going to do. We did a ride and talk. I used to do those from time to time anyway. But now I'm mostly just into my walk and talks. I want people to see my legs moving so that they'll be motivated to move, whether it's walking, jogging, biking, skating, dancing, walking the treadmill, riding your elliptical, whatever it is. So I did that ride and talk the other night, and I appreciate you guys for coming through. I really, really do. And I don't know who that other person was. I can't remember his name. I can't even see the chat. But he hung out with me. I never seen him before. I haven't seen him since. I've never seen him before. I haven't seen him since. But he hung out with me. So I appreciate you. I appreciate both of you guys for that. Now, some other people came through there. I was surprised, but you know, a lot of other people came through after it was over. I think when it ended, it had like 300 and something views. And I was like, I'm just in the dark riding home. It got some more views than some of the ones where I'm walking. I'm doing good. Thanks. Just got done cooking, and no doubt, no problem. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know you cooked up something good. I know you cooked up something good. Thank you for the hearts. If you don't mind, hit that like button. Run out there and tap those 3 dots. Hit it. If you don't want to hit it, look, I don't have a beef with you. We're not going to beef about a like button, okay? We're not going to beef about a like button. And I'm not going to bother you. I'm just going to ask you from time to time. That's it. That's all. I know it's all interaction and it all counts, but hey, I'm just happy that you stopped by. You're happy that you came through. If that's what you did, that's what you do. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. A lot of times, content creators, we're on here asking for things, but we got to express appreciation. We've got to express appreciation. We've got to. I'm thinking about doing a small giveaway on the community wall as a token of appreciation. You know, everybody doesn't think to like the video, like the live. Everybody doesn't think that. But hey, even when the trolls come through, unless they get really ugly, hey, they're giving you a view. That's support. That's support. That is support. Yeah, that's support. So I'm not going to just keep on. I'll do it maybe about 3 or 4 times. But I hear some people do it like every 5 minutes almost. And it's like, uh-uh. I'm just glad they're here. I'm glad they're here. I'm glad. I know it. The more that you do, the more you interact, the better. Like, you can get those likes, you can get those views, those hearts and stuff like that. I know the more, the better. But at some point, I would get tired of saying that over and over and over again. But you know, people are different, to each his own. Some people, that's all they want to say. That's all they want to do. That's all they want to do. So to each his own. But yeah, it's Saturday. Again, I plan to be on here for 30 minutes. And then when no one is in the chat, guess what? That's another opportunity for me to have some more me time. That's it. You got to use things to your advantage, okay? Instead of being upset or down that no one is in the chat, take that as an opportunity to have more me time. And if someone comes into the chat, just appreciate the ones that came, whether they say anything or not. If some people just want to watch. You know, a lot of times we can't get so caught up into telling people what to do, or always thinking that it's something, you know, that whatever they're doing or not doing is meant to be negative. Now, that said, there is a lot of negativity on these apps. Pretty much 90%. You know what? I take that back. It's not that much. The stuff on here, there are a lot of positive things on here. That's why I always say I like cooking channels, do-it-yourself channels, couples channels. You know, so honestly, actually, there's probably more positive content on here. But for some reason, the chats stay filled when they think that there's some negativity going on. And most of the times, it's always the people who say that they don't like drama or they don't like the negativity. But they will drop down in those chats like it's nothing. They'll drop down in those chats like it's nothing. So sometimes we say the world we live in. No, the people, the people of the world that we live in. Us. When I say people, I'm not excluding myself. Us, because no one is perfectly made, perfectly anything. We're not perfect. Some may come close, but I don't think there's one perfect person. Like I said yesterday, unless it's a newborn baby, unless it's a baby, it doesn't have to be newborn, because they're so totally, completely innocent. But once you start to teach them things, you know, that'll show you. Because if we were born perfect, we were born perfect. But if we were meant to stay perfect, that would mean that when you taught your child, the very first word you taught them, they would say it, no problem. They would say it, no problem. The very first time you said no, they would understand. Now they do understand no quickly because of the facial expression and the demeanor. But if they were perfect, whatever we said the first time, they would get it. So no one's meant to be perfect. Babies are the closest thing that we're going to have to perfect. And that's just because they haven't, they're babies. They're babies. So if you want perfection, get a baby. If you want perfection, get a baby. Hey, April. Hello, everyone. How are you, April? Yeah. If you want perfection, you got to get a baby. And they were born to be perfect for a while. Because if they were even meant to be perfect, they would catch on to everything you said the first time. But guess what? They still wouldn't even be perfect then, because a lot of times what we say isn't perfect. A lot of times what we say is wrong or not correct. So, don't allow people to make you feel like you're not perfect. You're perfect enough. We're all perfect enough. Not really perfect, but we're perfect enough. We're perfectly working. We're perfectly working. Perfectly working. So, you know how sometimes people say, I'm going to do better? That doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing good, They could be doing horribly. So they've got to do better to get to good. They've got to do better to get to good. April. Girl Dad says hi, April. You guys, please check out Girl Dad. Check out April Showers Network. Check out Jill's Comfort Zone. And any content creator in this chat that you happen to come across, support positive content creators, support positive content, support whatever content you want to support, but definitely support the positive people, because the positive content usually gets the less support. The least support. Positive content usually gets the least support. So if you see someone, like I said, even if it's not your niche, even if it's not something you like, I go over and I check out like the auto body mechanics, the mechanics. I check them out all the time, because as a woman, there are some things I may not be able to do it, but I just like watching them do it. I like watching them do it. And sometimes if you've ever had a problem, like with your vehicle, believe it or not, that's what YouTube to me was meant for. That's what it's supposed to be about. You should be able to Google it, and Google will send you straight to YouTube most of the times. Like say for instance, your car, a light comes on in your car. You take it to an auto place, and they put that little, I can't think of what it's called, but it's a machine that they connect to your car to see if something can codes can come up and tell you what the problem may be. Some ladies don't even know that. Just take your car to there, and they can maybe help you start, when a light comes on. And when those lights, when you see what the codes are, Google those codes. Now, of course, you got these big time mechanics that are going to tell you all kinds of stuff. But guess what? If you at least take your car, if it's, if you can drive it, if something's going on with it, and get those codes. Thank you so much. You're so right. Thank you, Girl Dad. Thank you. If you can at least get it to the store, to the auto store, and let them plug it up, and you get those codes, you at least have a starting point. You know, you at least have a starting point as women. And even men, not all men know about cars, you know. Some men have gotten taken advantage of just as well as women when it comes to taking your car to these places. Because, see, nowadays, it's not like they're trying to figure it out by listening to it like they used to do back in the day. Everything is a machine. Everything is on a machine. Everything is, placed on a machine, and they're going to tell you that machine is going to give them codes. So why not start off with wherever you can? If your car is drivable, just drive to one of those places, auto parts stores. Ask them, if they can get their little diagnostic machine. I think that's what it's called. Hook you up and tell you what's going on. And at least, even if you take it to your dealership the next day and they're telling you something totally different, at least you can say, well, hey, tell them what you did. You took it here and it said this, and this. And they're going to make an excuse. They're going to say, well, whatever that said on that machine at that store, that's just a store. It's not totally designed for your particular car. So, and I'm like, are you crazy? But, you listen to them, because sometimes they're going to give you the runaround, and then they'll say something like, well, that code fired off because of what we're telling you right now. So I just love stuff like that. Go venture out. Go Go check out the auto body. The mechanics. The auto body, when they're just doing the body work. Check all that out. Sometimes you can look and figure out things about certain designs, about certain ways they do cars. When you get your car, you want to do your own little thing. You want to make changes to it. Go check out that auto body mechanics. And just go check out some mechanics on here. Check them out. Sometimes they really will help you. And even if you say if you have a Honda and you take it to the Honda dealership, if their codes say something different from the codes that they tell you, now it may be true. It may be that, for some reason, because those codes in the stores, those machines in the stores are designed to pick up only so much. But if they tell you, well, it picked that up, but, our machines are, geared for your car. So that's why when we fix this, it'll clear all that up. Now, if they tell you that and you get your car back and it's still acting up and you go right back to that store and they tell you the same code, then they told you a bunch of hogwash and they saw something else that they fixed and they just, patched it up knowing that you were going to be right back. Knowing that you would be right back. So, ladies, venture out. Get out of the drama, okay? Go watch some auto body mechanics. Go watch mechanics. Watch them do some things that you may not know to do. Go learn to just check your oil. Check your transmission fluid. Check your power steering fluid. Even on these new cars, there are still some things that you can check. There are still some. Now, of course, these specialty cars, you have no choice. You have no choice. You got to go and let them do everything just about. But you can still check your levels. Check your levels in your cars. Check your levels. Learn to change your tire. Learn to change your tire. Knowing how to change your tire can be one of the best things you ever learn to do. And that's still something that we can do. We as consumers, we can change a tire if we can't do anything else to these cars. Hey, Brilliant. A Brilliant Blessed Mess. Hello, speaking to everybody. I appreciate you, Brilliant. Jill saying hey to everybody. Girl Dad, April Showers, and Brilliant. Thank you. So, venture out. I keep telling y'all, and I keep telling y'all because the same reason I tell myself. Sometimes you have to motivate yourself. Sometimes you have to give yourself a swift kick in the behind. Sometimes you have to just encourage yourself. Because not to say that there's no one to do it, but sometimes you can get encouragement from other people. And that's a great thing. It's great to have that sibling that encourages you, that child that encourages you, those parents that encourage you. But sometimes it just seems like nothing is working. So guess what? You got to hit bottom and realize that maybe you need to encourage yourself. Maybe you need to encourage yourself. Sometimes we got to do that. Sometimes we're not even thinking about it. Y'all, sometimes we're so down and out. We're not even thinking that could even work. Like, how can I encourage myself? myself when I'm kind of like in the pits? Well, that's a good question. But sometimes you are the only one who you will listen to. You know how some people know it all? Sometimes you have people who just know everything, they're know it alls. Well, guess what? Sometimes, and you thank God for those people. You thank God for your family and friends who encourage you, who motivate you, who try to uplift you when they can tell that you're down, when you won't even admit it to them that you're down, but they know you and they can tell, they can sense it, they see it, they hear it in your tone. There's a vibe that you have that's just not the regular you, the normal you. But what it is, you know it, and you're telling them, oh, it's all right, everything's good. And you're listening to them, and you're knowing probably that what they're saying is right. But sometimes you just got to do it yourself. Sometimes you got to do it yourself. And believe you me, I'm not saying this because I'm perfect at that. I'm saying that because it's really hard for me to do that. Sometimes it's hard to pull yourself up. But once you do it and you look back, then you realize that in some situations, that's the only way to feel better. That's the only way to feel better. Sometimes the only way to feel better is a kind, encouraging word from you to you. A kind, encouraging, uplifting, motivational word from you to you. That is one reason that we use that mirror, that mirror when we're trying to uplift ourselves, pull ourselves up, get ourselves out of the gutter. That's one reason we use the mirror. The mirror is the best place to do it. So, we love, 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 and appreciate. Look, I tell y'all, come over here if you need motivating. Somebody in the chat's going to do it. I might not always be the one to do it. Yes, brilliant, yes. I might not be the one to do it because I'm telling you, and I'm telling you the truth. When I'm trying to motivate other people, I'm either trying to motivate myself as well or keep myself motivated. Now, that said, yes, when we get those motivational words and those speeches and that uplifting from family members and friends and sometimes strangers, sometimes that can help. Sometimes that does it. Sometimes that's the trick. But when you find that that's not helping, or if you find that everybody keeps saying this, everybody keeps saying that, you know what? That means you just got to lean on God, lean on Jesus, lean on God. Look, you got to lean on the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Okay? So if you don't want to hear that, I'm sorry, but that's what you got to do. Because that's the only way you can motivate you. When everybody else you have those situations where people can lift you up and encourage you and you're fine, that's good. But there are those times where it seems like what your siblings are saying is not working. What your best friend is telling you, you understand, but it's just not working. You're still just down and out. You're in the gutter. You're in the pits. That's when you have to motivate you. And you can only do that through the goodness and grace of God. You can only do that through the goodness and grace of God. Sometimes that's the only way to do it. Hopefully, it's never so bad till you become in what's known as a clinical depression. A clinical. We got a lot of therapists, but I'm just going to tell you from what I know. And sometimes if you're in that clinical depression, there's nothing nobody can tell you. No untrained person. You may go to a trained person and they can't help get you out of it. But there is somebody out there for you. There's somebody out there for you. Sometimes, that's why trained clinicians have colleagues. They call, they talk, and they chat with each other all the time. They're like, hey, look, I got this client, and I just don't know. I'm at my wit's end. I've tried everything that my teaching has taught me. I've tried everything that my experience has taught me. And sometimes clinicians, that's why doctors consult. That's why doctors consult. And they're like, look, I've tried everything. Now, as long as they don't have that ego complex, because you have some people who have an ego complex, and they don't know, okay, I've tried everything I know to try, I need someone to help me with this client. And sometimes clinicians have to contact their colleagues, you know? And if you find that you're in a clinical situation and somebody they're just not helping you, then you have two choices. Ask them. Ask them, do they have a colleague? Be honest. Don't tell them it's working and it's not working. Ask them, do they have a colleague? Because sometimes people are aware enough to know that it's just not right. They're just not in that space. And they're not where they want to be mentally. And they've been working with their therapist or psychologist, psychiatrist. And they're just not getting there. So never be ashamed to ask them, do you have a colleague? And if they want to help you the way they should, they'll listen to you. Especially if you've given it a shot, you've given them a chance, and they've taken all the chances that they're kind of feeling like they're at their wit's end too. And ask them, hey, do you have a colleague? And if they're that type that where some people feel like, well, I don't want to ask him or her because that means I couldn't help you. Well, guess what? You have another choice, another option. Just go to someone else. Just go to someone else. If you're clinically depressed, it's okay to get help. Don't ever feel you can't seek help. Exactly. And the thing about clinical depression, see, I keep hearing all these people telling people what they have and what they are. But if you notice, brilliant, none of these people have expressed the word clinical. Clinical. So that tells you right there that they don't know much about what they're talking about. And even if they do, just because they haven't said clinical doesn't necessarily mean that they don't know what they're talking about. But some of them will fight tooth and nail saying they know because they did this. They know because they did that. They know because, okay, but how many people, that was you. That saying, to each his own, that relates to everything. That relates to your mental stability, your physical stability, your emotional stability. Just like it relates to, just do I prefer McDonald's or does Brilliant prefer Burger King? People will say to each his own. Well, that relates to everything. And just because something went away for you and you realize that, oh, well, I was doing this and that, and that's why I was in this place. That does not mean that it's like that for everybody else. It does not mean it's like that for everybody else. You have some people, there are a lot of us. How many billions of people are in this world? You have a lot of us who you probably can put in a certain basket. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, they have this particular type of depression. They have this particular mental illness. They have this particular mental illness or that particular mental illness. But even if they have the exact same mental illness, it does not mean they are going to benefit from the exact same treatment. It does not mean that they're going to benefit from the exact same treatment. It doesn't. Brilliant says amen. Jill says amen. Come on, somebody. Brilliant says, if you're clinically depressed, oh, I think I got that one. Only shame is ignoring that you need help and not asking for it. Yep. And I understand, I understand people being shamed because you know why? It's sad to say, but just take a town, any town. Say someone is going through some depression, right? Especially if they're in a small town. Y'all know that in spite of HIPAA laws, there are still some people who will say just enough to put your business out there. So I've seen many people in small towns or in larger towns. They are ashamed to say what is going on with them, not because they don't want the help or they feel like it's embarrassing that they're stronger than this. They should be better than this. Some of them are too ashamed because they know, like, some towns are small, y'all. And sometimes, like I said, they're not small, but only a limited amount of employees are employed by maybe, I'll say, mental health facility A. and you walk up in there to get some assistance, and you know the lady at the front desk. You know how that makes a person feel? That it shouldn't, because there is a such thing as HIPAA. So it shouldn't. But then, okay, so you stick with it, and you go to the back. You meet the doctor. You've never seen her before. You don't know her, okay? Well, you see her for like maybe 2 or 3 times. You see someone else sign in who you know in that town. They're signing up and they're signing in to get help. But guess what? They don't know what help you're getting. But guess what? You go to church 3 weeks from now and you hear, oh, she go over so-and-so to get clinical depression help. You know, she go over there to get help. She be at somebody who saw you in there who was probably getting help themselves runs their behinds out in the community. And next thing you know, it's in the church that you went over there to get some help. Brian says there's a difference. Life throws curves. Death especially can cause clinical depression, and it's okay. I'm glad I sought help after my mother passed. I got into a deep, dark place I was ashamed to admit. You can be ashamed. But I thank God I reached out for help and I got it. Honestly, could not imagine being in that dark place ever again. It was not a happy place to be, and it was nearly impossible to get out of on my own. Yes, God is so good, and people love to say, well, if God is what God says and God does is supposed to do, why did you need to do? Because God gives us the common sense. He gives us, just as he gives us free will to do right from wrong or to do and not do certain things, he gives us resources. He gives us resources. You know, he gives us resources. Jill says, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thank you, Jill. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to the live and hanging out with me. You and Girl Dad and Brilliant. Has been 1 hour and 16 minutes, y'all. We have been in, and Brilliant, sis, you know I appreciate you always. Jill says, got to finish up with things on this beautiful Saturday. I know, Jill, isn't it beautiful? I think most everybody in my family that I've talked to that lives in a different place, it's just been a beautiful day. I appreciate you. I thank you for coming in as always, and have a great day. And I'm going to go back and finish that live. Like I said, I came in this evening when the young man was on the panel, and I could just tell Jill was getting some stuff off her chest, and she was getting some straightening. She was getting some straightening. Jill's being Jill. That's why I love Jill. I love each and every one of you guys for the differences that you bring, for the nuggets that you drop into this chat, and for the support that you give me. I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Brian says, folks tear me up at church. You want help, and they call themselves telling folks your business. Yeah. And prayer, and end up spreading all your business. Exactly, Brian. So that's why I'm saying sometimes, you know, we always tell people, I mean, I found myself telling people, don't be ashamed a lot. You know, because a lot of us have been ashamed at some point and probably will again. But you know what? You have to think about it. There may be a good reason that some people are ashamed. Not so much that they're ashamed because they need the help, but they're often ashamed because, like I said, especially if you're in a small town, and you know, you're in a small town, but people have to work. You may go in, and the first person at the receptionist is the first person you see, and she's one of the nosiest people that you know from church, and you had no clue that she worked there. And then if it's not her, if you don't know the receptionist or anyone in the front office, once you get to the back, you know everything's cool and good. You may see somebody leaving from there that you know from school. Say you're taking classes. Well, that person was there seeking something, but they'll go right back behind your back and say, oh, I saw her doing so-and-so, so-and-so. Now, if it's me, I'm looking like, well, why are you telling me that she was there and you were there too? But you know how messy is, messy does. They're going to say, oh, I was just dropping off so-and-so, and I was sitting out there and I saw her coming out. You know how people do. Yep, you know how people do. And then say, for instance, you don't see anybody you know. Because even if you see somebody you know, they're supposed to keep it confidential. But say you don't see anybody you know for like the first month. And then the doctor that you've been seeing has to be off for vacation. And the doctor that comes in, that stands in for him, is someone that you knew from high school. Girl, I'd be like, no ma'am, no ham, no sir, no her. No. No. It may be someone that you know from high school. And it's like, now you would expect them to be professional and have professionalism, integrity, and no HIPAA laws, because But let me tell you something around how people get around these HIPAA laws. People and people know it. They go out and they throw out little negative nuggets. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to tell exactly, oh, she was in there because she was seeing somebody for a bipolar or whatever. They're not going to say that. But they're going to say, child, I work at the what you call it. You just never know who you'll see there. And they'll say it to that person right when they're passing you at Walmart, or after they pass you at Walmart. Right. And so, say if it's me and that person, that doctor that sat in when the doctor was on vacation. And so I'm going to look. And of course, if they're going to say it right on cue, and I'm going to be like, really? I'm like, you saw her? It's going to make me say, you saw her over there? Then they're going to say something like, well, we can't tell people's business. I'm not one to gossip. I'm just saying, you never know who you'll see there. So what's that's going to make me do? Think, wow, I wonder what she got going on. And then I'm going to start asking other people questions. And that in itself can put out that person is seeking help. So sometimes it's not really that the person is ashamed to ask, but they're afraid of being shamed. They're afraid of being shamed. Right, don't make no doggone sense. Absolutely, none at all. I know, but unfortunately your info isn't always protected, right? Just like you speaking of, Lord have mercy. Sometimes it's not. And like I said, and they know how to try to get around the laws. They'll say those little things like that. You happen to be, like I say, the doctor could be someone that you happen to be in church with, or take a yoga class with, take an exercise class with, you go to the gym with. And then so, just like her, you probably know you two probably have other people in common who you may not be friends with, but you may know of. You know how it is in a town when you know of people and they may be friends and they both may just know of you. So they're friends and they're there, they're just kicking it or whatever. They see you walk in the gym and she's like, once you walk in, you catch their eye. You may not catch their eye, but they see you. And then all she has to do is like nudge. Child, I work at the mental institution of helping folks. And you just never know who you might see. And then they just nod their head, giving you the eye. Well, they haven't said a word, but they've said a lot. They haven't said a word, but they've said a lot. They haven't said a word after they nodded, but they've said a lot. So sometimes people are just, afraid that someone that they know, they'll see someone that they know, or maybe even don't even really know, but know of. And that's why sometimes people don't ask for help. It's the embarrassment. It's being ashamed. Because I know we all have those situations where we know someone in our town and people are like, they got issues, don't you? Their family, it's a couple of people in their family, they act kind of wacky, don't you? You know how people are. So that's what makes people ashamed sometimes. That really does make people ashamed. I knew a young man, he was an athlete and went to a college, good college, played sport, did well. Well, his first semester, he had to kind of sit out because his grades weren't up to par. But tell me, that happens all the time, where you can't do something until you get those grades up, right? Well, his grades weren't up to par. Guess what? He was from another town, a little small town outside of our town. But you know how you have those little smaller communities and towns, and for them coming into town is coming to your town. So once they heard that his grades were, needed some help, and look, the young man graduated and everything, but this is like before all the graduation and all that. This is him entering college. Do you know people from his town would say, well, those, they crazy anyway. That's what they would say. Now, when he got into college, those same people, this is how finicky people are. This is how people will flip on you. Those same people, that boy, he good, but they dumb. His family, them folks, they dumb. That's just how they were talking. Well, guess what? He got into college. So he gets in, and his grades aren't up to par. And in our communities, unfortunately, we have a unique stigma around seeking help. Yes, absolutely brilliant. Yes, sometimes in that case, you may have to seek help in another county. Exactly. And sometimes you don't have the resource to do that. But if you do, it's fortunate that you do so that you can do that. Because sometimes that's what you absolutely have to do. Yep, you have to go to another county, next town over, or something like that. So they talked about him, when he got into college, because he was a great athlete, an athlete who did go to the pros. He went to the pros. But when he first got into the major college, people from his little community outside of the bigger town, they would come into the town. You know those people from other smaller communities. Some of them some of them come shop in your town. They may even come to church and stuff. They talked about him. They talked about his family as a whole. Okay, and then when it got out that he would have to sit out that first semester because of grades, oh, they really talked. But tell me why he graduated. He graduated in a good field, graduated in a great field, graduated. A lot of athletes go into sports medicine or, maybe not being a doctor, but maybe a therapist or something like that. But he went into, I want to say it was communications or something. And I know a lot of times people are like, well, communications, they don't really, you can get into that. You can get into sales and do communications. That's true. But if you have a degree, that helps. That helps with your pay, and it just helps with a lot of stuff. It helps with a lot of stuff. So, but anyway, he got a degree, and a degree is something that someone can't take from you. They can never take that from you. You may even go and get a license and mess up and get in trouble and lose your license, but you will never lose that degree. So once he went to the pros, tell me why those same people who were bashing him because I knew he wasn't going to do good because his family's not wrapped too tight, all this kind of stuff, or his daddy was this way and that way. Tell me once he graduated and went pro, everybody from that community was his cousin. Everybody from that community was close to him. Everybody from the community was hanging out at the park when he threw the community bash and paid for everybody to eat, drink, sleep, and whatever else they did out there. Everybody was his cousin then. Exactly. Tickets, brilliant. Tickets was the least of it. Everybody was his cousin then. Everybody was his friend, his classmate. Yeah, y'all were his classmates, but y'all talked about him like a dog. Especially, y'all said it off the rip. He was great at his sport, but he wasn't going to be able to go to college because they don't do good in school. And he did stumble. And and if you're going to wonder about something like that, you don't speak it out into the atmosphere, or you don't take it public. We're human. We know that we talk. Humans talk. But you don't take it public, and you don't just, every person hear you talk. It may be people that you know that don't even know the young man, and you're spreading the rumor. Girl, he graduated, went pro. Has things in that little town named in his name and everything. Still a young man. And from time to time comes back home and just does things for the community. Everything's paid for. But you know what? I wonder how many of those people had sense enough to say, you know what, I was wrong. They're not going to say that. You don't necessarily have to go to him and say, hey, I said this about you, I was wrong, because he may have never known, but he knew. He may not know exactly who said what, but people know when you talk about them. They hear the rumors that you put out about them. They hear the bad things that you say about them. And it may not even be rumors. He did stumble in school. But a lot of people stumble in school. But they thought just because it was him and his family wasn't known to do well in school, that he wasn't going to bounce back. But he did. He did. And not only did he go pro, he got his degree. He wasn't like some, athletes, as soon as they can go into the league, whether it's football, basketball, as soon as they can go, if they don't have their degree, they'll still go. He got his degree and went pro. And of course, when he comes back and does things for the community, the main ones that ran their mouth are the main ones that are there with their hands out, or they're the main ones with the big grins on their face, patting him on the back. They're the main ones trying to get the most time from him, the most attention from him. They're almost fighting over who's going to talk to him. Bria says we are supposed to be praying for each other, not gossiping. Good for him. Exactly. Oh, they feel silly. Right. They feel silly now. Yep. They feel they feel silly now. They're real out of place. But you know what? Those people like that, it seems like they just don't learn. And it's sad to say, but it seems like they just don't learn. They'll do it to somebody else's child. Because at the end of the day, when you look at it, Yeah, he was 18 when he went to college, 18, 19, but he was still somebody's child. He was still somebody's child. So not only did he have to hear that, his family had to hear that because they were taking swipes at the family as well by saying that his family was the way that they were. So his family had to hear that. His mother worked at a facility in the town. His mother had to hear that. You know, she heard it. You know, in her face, yeah, they were smiling. It was all good. But you know, she heard it. So you have to be strong. Girl, Dad says 100. Yeah, you have to be strong. And like I say that and talk about that to say, we've all, I ain't gonna lie to you, we're human. I cannot hold you, I cannot lie. We've all said things about people. I've said things about people. People have said things about me. You know, I say everybody's been talked about. Everybody's gonna talk about somebody. But it's the evilness when that is your intent, is to tear somebody down, to break somebody down. And the first thing that they'll say, because I actually said something to somebody that had approached me about the situation. I'm like, well, why are you tearing them down? I'm not tearing them down. I'm telling you the truth. I'm just saying, you are tearing them down. Okay, it may be the truth that his family had struggles with school, but you're saying it with a tone that is reflective that you think is funny almost. That is not okay. Absolutely, it's not okay. You're saying it like you almost think it's funny. So yeah, it may be the truth. His family may have been a family that struggled in school. They may not have been the smartest family in the school. But guess what? There's gonna come a generation of that family that's gonna be smart enough to do the things that they want to do better than many of you, to accomplish the things they want to accomplish better than many of you. So when you said it, you didn't say it in a way that showed me you were gonna help him. You didn't say it in a way that if you had said, yeah, his family, they struggled a little bit, and it's like a few members of his family. So I really hope that college can get him, because y'all know how colleges are. Colleges will get you more help. If you can get to college, sometimes colleges will give you more help than regular school. When it comes to things like dyslexia or certain learning disabilities, y'all know some congressmen, some of the most well-known people, some of the most public people have learning disabilities. Doesn't mean that you're dumb or smart or can't learn. It just means that your learning ability may be limited. But it also means that it may not be limited, but it may just be that you have to learn in a different way. It may take you more time. It may take you there may need to be a different teaching approach. But when people feel like, hey, like if you go to class and you just don't get the math and make the A, B's, and C's like everybody else, you making D's and F's, sometimes it's the approach. That's why that's been one of the things in American history that people have focused on: classroom size. Classroom size. Sometimes it's just the approach. You need the information delivered to you in a different way. You need the information delivered to you in a different way. It's not that you can't learn it. Maybe you just can't learn it that way. And it's okay if you can't learn it that way, the general way that they're teaching it, the regular way that they're teaching it. Sometimes it takes a different approach. A different approach. Brian says we need more people that do that. If you laugh and entertain it, unfortunately, you become part of the problem. Right, right. And I say, like I say, nobody's perfect. We've all been part of the problem at some point. I know that if everybody, unless you're as close to perfect that I was talking about earlier, the closest thing to perfect, we've all laughed when we shouldn't have laughed at something. We've all done it. Said a snide remark when we shouldn't have. We've all done it. But the thing about it is, it doesn't even matter how old you were when you did it. You probably knew better when you did it. But sometimes it comes a point where you have to do better. Like a lot of times people say, you know better, do better. Sometimes we do know better, and we're still not doing good. We're not doing right. But there comes a point where you know better, and you need to do better. You know you do know better, and you need to do better. So I'm going to get out of here, y'all, because these people are coming out. Y'all hear their music? It's Saturday evening, and people are about to start enjoying their day, and I don't want this music on here. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what time it is. I wish you guys peace, positivity, and prosperity. Without peace, there's chaos. Without positivity, there's negativity. Wherever chaos and negativity live together, you fail to prosper to your fullest potential. So we all want to prosper to our fullest potential, right? Right. Don't let bothered people bother you. Don't let stressed people stress you out. Do the things that you need to do to put you in a better mental space, physical space, and emotional space. And if you need help, ask. If you're ashamed to ask, still ask anyway. You know, ask in your time, asking in your own time. And if one person won't help you, go to someone who will. And I'm gonna see you guys on tomorrow on the next Let's Walk and Talk Live. Bye, y'all.